If you're over 60 and still think you can walk into your bank and withdraw whatever amount you want from your own account, I've got some shocking news for you. The rules have changed, and thousands of pensioners across the UK are being caught completely off guard, some even having their accounts frozen without warning. What I'm about to reveal could save you from a nightmare scenario at the bank counter. Hello and welcome to UK State Pension with David. I'm David, and today we're cutting through all the confusion, the myths, and the misinformation surrounding bank withdrawal limits for the over 60s in the United Kingdom. This isn't clickbait. This isn't scaremongering. This is the real truth that your bank might not be telling you up front, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what limits exist, why they exist, and most importantly, how to protect yourself and access your money when you need it. Now, before we dive deep into this, I want to make something crystal clear. Your money is still your money. Nobody is taking it away from you, but the way you access it, especially if you're withdrawing larger amounts of cash, has changed dramatically in recent years. And if you don't understand these changes, you could find yourself in an incredibly frustrating situation, unable to access your own funds when you need them most. Let's start with the basics. Are there official legal limits on how much cash you can withdraw from your bank account in the UK? The straightforward answer is no. There is no law that says you cannot withdraw £10,000 or £20,000 from your own bank account. Legally, it's your money and you have every right to access it. However, and this is a big however, individual banks have their own internal policies and daily withdrawal limits, and these can vary significantly from one institution to another. Most major UK banks impose daily ATM withdrawal limits ranging from £250 to £500. Some premium accounts might allow up to £1,000 per day from cash machines. But here's where it gets tricky for the over 60s. If you need to withdraw a larger amount, say £5,000 for home repairs or to help a family member, you cannot simply take it from an ATM. You need to go into a branch, and this is where the real complications begin. When you walk into a bank branch to withdraw a substantial amount of cash, typically anything over £2,000 to £3,000 depending on the bank, you'll face a series of questions. The bank staff are legally required to ask you why you need the money. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's my money, why should I have to explain myself? The reason is financial crime prevention, specifically money laundering regulations and fraud protection measures. The UK has some of the strictest anti-money laundering laws in the world. Banks are required by law to monitor transactions and report any suspicious activity to the National Crime Agency. Large cash withdrawals can trigger these monitoring systems, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because criminals also use large cash withdrawals as part of money laundering schemes. The bank needs to satisfy itself that you're not being coerced, scammed, or otherwise manipulated into withdrawing your money. This is particularly important for the over 60 demographic because, unfortunately, older people are disproportionately targeted by financial scams. Fraudsters often pose as police officers, bank officials, or government representatives and convince pensioners to withdraw large sums of cash. The banks are trying to protect you from these scams even though their questioning can feel intrusive and patronizing. So what kind of questions will they ask? They'll want to know why you need the cash, what you're planning to use it for, whether anyone has asked you to withdraw it, and whether you've been contacted by anyone claiming to be from the police or your bank. If your answers raise red flags, they may refuse the withdrawal on the spot or ask you to come back another day after they've done additional checks. In extreme cases, they might even freeze your account temporarily while they investigate. Now, let's talk about advance notice requirements. Many banks now require you to give advance notice for large cash withdrawals, typically 24 to 48 hours, though some banks want up to a week's notice for amounts over £10,000. This means you cannot walk into your local branch and expect to withdraw £5,000 on the spot, even if you have £50,000 sitting in your current account. The bank needs time to order the cash and prepare it for you. Why do banks need this notice period? Physical cash is becoming less common in branches. Most transactions are now digital, so branches don't keep massive amounts of cash on hand like they used to. When you request a large withdrawal, they often need to order it from a cash center, which takes time. Additionally, the advance notice gives them time to run their anti-fraud checks in the background. Here's a crucial point that many over-60s don't realize. Different types of accounts have different withdrawal restrictions. A basic current account might have stricter limits than a premium account. A savings account might have different rules than a current account. Some accounts, particularly fixed-term savings bonds, have penalties for early withdrawal or might not allow withdrawals at all until the term ends. You need to understand the specific terms of your account. There's also the issue of branch closures across the UK. Thousands of bank branches have closed in recent years, leaving many rural and suburban areas without a local branch. If your nearest branch is now 20 miles away, and you need to visit in person for a large withdrawal, that adds another layer of difficulty, especially if you don't drive or have mobility issues. Some banks offer alternative services through post office branches, but these often have even lower withdrawal limits. Let's address a common concern. Can the bank refuse to give you your money? In most cases, no. They cannot ultimately refuse a legitimate withdrawal. However, they can delay it while they conduct checks, and they can require you to follow their procedures. If they have genuine concerns about fraud or money laundering, they have a legal obligation to report it and may temporarily restrict your account. This is rare for genuine customers, but it does happen. What about alternatives to cash withdrawal? Banks actively encourage over-60s to use alternative payment methods. Bank transfers are instant, free, and leave a clear audit trail. Debit cards can be used almost everywhere. For large purchases like a car or home improvements, a bank transfer is actually safer than carrying thousands of pounds in cash. However, I understand that many over-60s prefer cash for various reasons. Some of you don't trust digital payments. Some of you like the physical control of seeing and holding your money. Some transactions are simply easier with cash, particularly in smaller local businesses. Your preference for cash is valid, but you need to work within the system that exists. Here's my practical advice for managing large cash withdrawals if you're over 60. First, plan ahead. If you know you'll need a substantial amount of cash, contact your bank at least a week in advance. Explain what you need and why. Be honest and straightforward. There's no shame in needing cash for legitimate purposes. Second, be prepared to provide documentation. If you're withdrawing money to pay for building work, bring the quote or invoice. If it's for a family gift, be ready to explain that. The more transparent you are, the smoother the process. Third, consider splitting large withdrawals across multiple days if you don't need it all at once. Instead of withdrawing £10,000 in one go, withdraw £3,000 on Monday, £3,000 on Wednesday, and £4,000 on Friday. This keeps each transaction below the threshold that triggers enhanced scrutiny. Fourth, use your debit card whenever possible. Most businesses now accept card payments, even for large amounts, and it's safer than carrying cash. Fifth, if you're regularly withdrawing large amounts of cash, talk to your bank about upgrading to an account with higher limits or better suited to your needs. Premium accounts often come with higher daily limits and fewer restrictions. Sixth, always be aware of scams. If anyone contacts you claiming to be from your bank or the police and asks you to withdraw cash, it's a scam. Legitimate organizations will never ask you to do this. There's also the issue of safety and security. Carrying large amounts of cash makes you a target for theft. If you're withdrawing several £1,000s, think carefully about how you'll transport it safely. Don't count it at the bank counter where others can see. Put it away immediately and discreetly. Consider having someone accompany you, especially if you have mobility issues. Drive directly home or to where you need to use the money. Some banks now offer courier services for very large cash amounts, where they'll deliver the cash to your home in a secure vehicle. This service typically costs a fee but might be worth it for amounts over £10,000. Ask your bank if this service is available. Now here's something that might surprise you. The move away from cash isn't just about bank profits or convenience, it's also about safety. Cash can be stolen, lost, destroyed in a fire or flood. Digital money in your account is insured and protected. The Financial Services Compensation Scheme protects up to £85,000 per person per institution. If your bank goes under, you're protected. That said, I completely understand the desire to have some cash at home for emergencies. A few £100s kept in a safe place can give you peace of mind. Just don't keep thousands of pounds at home where it's vulnerable to theft or fire. And if you do keep cash at home, make sure your home insurance covers it, as many standard policies have very low limits for cash claims. What about the future? Is cash disappearing entirely? For the foreseeable future, no. While cash usage is declining, particularly among younger people, it remains important for millions of UK residents, especially older people. The government has recognized this and introduced legislation requiring banks to maintain access to cash services. However, the trend is clearly towards digital payments, and over-60s need to adapt to this reality to some extent. Here's a middle ground approach I recommend. Embrace digital banking for most transactions while maintaining the ability to access cash when you truly need it. Set up online banking so you can check your balance, pay bills, and transfer money without visiting a branch. Use your debit card for shopping, but don't feel pressured to give up cash entirely if it's important to you. The key is balance and understanding how to work within the current system. If you're concerned about banking becoming too complicated or restrictive, stay informed. Citizens Advice Bureau offers free support and can help you understand your rights and navigate banking issues. Age UK provides guidance specifically for older people dealing with financial institutions. You're not alone in facing these challenges. So, to summarize the real truth about bank withdrawal limits for over-60s in the UK, there are no legal limits on withdrawing your own money, but banks have internal policies ranging from £250 per day at ATMs to requiring advance notice for large branch withdrawals over £2,000 to £3,000. You'll face questions about why you need the money due to anti-fraud regulations. You may need to provide 24 to 72 hours notice for amounts over £5,000. Branch closures have made access more difficult in many areas. The system isn't designed to stop you accessing your money. It's designed to protect you from fraud and to comply with money laundering laws. Understanding the rules and planning ahead means you can access your cash when you need it without unnecessary stress or delays. Your money remains your money, but the way you access it requires a bit more thought and preparation than it did 20 years ago. If you found this information valuable, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to UK State Pension with David. Hit the notification bell so you never miss important updates about pensions, benefits, and financial matters affecting older people across the United Kingdom. Drop a comment below and let me know about your experiences with bank withdrawals. Have you faced any difficulties? What strategies have worked for you? Thank you for watching UK State Pension with David. I'm David, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll be discussing how to maximize your state pension entitlement. Until then, stay informed, stay safe, and remember that knowledge is your best protection. Take care.